Jeremy, that's an excellent question, and it goes back to a couple of things that we discussed throughout the presentation. One is privity of contract. So the government has privity of contract with the first party and the second party, and so in your example, the second party is performing badly and doing a poor job. So the privity contract is between the government and that second party. So they're the ones that should be negatively impacted on that, and they're the ones that the government should be documenting the past performance on. Those situations do get tough because sometimes the deliverables of the first party may be partly dependent on the second party on that. And so that's where the challenges really lie. But ultimately, if it's the second party that is failing to perform, the government should be holding that second party accountable for its performance.
Thanks, Mark. The next question is from Mary. Can CTAs be used so that a proposed team has all SINs required under a BPA RFQ? Or are CTAs just for separate contracts, e.g. 874, 871?
Thanks, Mary. That's an excellent question. CTAs can be used to propose, for all SINs under it. So you could do a CTA if there's a requirement that falls under Schedule 70, which is our information technology schedule, and let's say it requires 132-8, which is a purchase of equipment. It requires software and requires IT professional services. There could be arrangement between the schedule holder that provides product, the one that provides the software, and then a third team member that's providing services, and that could be within one schedule or it could be within multiple schedules. It just depends on the scope of the request for quote.
The next question's from Callie. How would awards be recorded in FPDS, i.e. under what contractor name would the reporting apply to?
That's an excellent question. Currently, FPDS is only capable of accepting reporting of a single awardee under a task order or an individual blanket purchase agreement. So it doesn't accommodate for teaming currently that has obviously multiple prime contractors. So generally, if there's a team lead, generally what customer agencies do is they do report the team lead, but it would be the decision of the ordering contracting officer on what team member they load into FPDS.
Well, thanks for that clarification, Mark. The next question is from a guest. If CTA member 1 provides a product on schedule, is it proper for CTA member 2 to provide a service that is not on schedule, or do both parties have to provide products/services on schedule?
Both have to provide products and services on their respective schedules. So team member A should only be providing items that are on their GSA schedule contract, and team member B should only provide items that are on their GSA schedule contract.
Thanks, Mark. We have another question from Mary. Is the government responsible for advising us of a SIN for a BPA task order so that we know which CTA team member is responsible for IFF reporting? What if multiple SINs, e.g. under 2 CTAs, are used in one task order? That's a big question. Multiple questions in there, I think.
Generally, the statement of work in the RFQ defines the scope of a BPA or a particular task order. Generally, ordering activity contracting officers identify the appropriate SINs to be soliciting under GSA schedule contracts, and if they're using our e-buy tool, they actually select those SINs and those vendors that under those select SINs are able to view the RFQ. So as a matter, generally they do, but it is the scope of the statement of work that really defines the scope, and then you would be responsible for providing stuff off of your scheduled contract and your respective team members that are within the scope of your various schedules that meet that requirement.
Thanks, Mark. Callie, I'm sorry, I must have skipped over one of your questions. I'm going in order here, so let me just backtrack to Callie. Callie wanted to know if it would be suggested that if legal review teaming arrangements. Should you have your legal department review a teaming arrangement?
In a matter of industry, again, the teaming arrangement is between the contractors itself. So as a matter of practice, I think on the industry side, they should have their legal counsel review those arrangements, and that's probably a best practice. Again, the government does review the teaming arrangement to make sure that in terms of their evaluation of the capability to perform and how responsive that quotation is to the RFQ. But generally it would happen on the industry side because the government does not get involved and directly involved in the CTA arrangement.